Hi folks, Ruben here from DMW Industries. Here to talk to you about reflashes on engine management systems, gearboxes and the converter lockup kit on the Landcruiser 200. Now, I've had some real issues with these things over the time, and I've had chips, flashes, back to chips and all that sort of stuff, because flashes are going to limp mode, going across the desert. What am I supposed to do? You've got to get your code machine out, you've got to uncode it, blah blah blah. It could be a bigger issue in the computer system. So I went back to chips so I could unplug it. They're still throwing codes. So I've had enough of the chip, so I had to ring Stefan from Richard's Auto Electrical, because I've already got a lockup kit in my auto box, and I've been discussing with Steph for a while about going back to a reflash, and I've been a bit on the fence because, I can't unplug this.
Bad experiences.
Yeah, bad experiences. They run deep, don't they? So
they do.
It's hard to change from those. Yeah. So I've been doing the dance, is what Steph calls it, with my gearbox. So Steph said, hey, why don't I come up and we'll have a bit of a chat and we'll sort some stuff out with it. So I said, okay, and he said, look, I'll show you through my reflash and all that sort of jazz on the engine management side, as well as flashing the gearbox, which means we can get it into 6th gear at 100k an hour and it'll hold it. Absolutely fantastic. What I'll do is now, Steph will talk to us about the ins and outs of how that goes.
Yeah, thanks Ruben. Yeah, look, when Ruben called us up, we thought we'd take the opportunity to come up and meet DMW. We've for a long time seen their gear and rate their product. It's fantastic. It's good to see an Aussie company doing really well, striving for that quality and that next cut above. So we align with that. Back at Richard's Auto, my company at home, we strive for the same principle. We try and produce a product that not only helps our customer, but delivers a value to our customer as well. So we come up here and had the opportunity yesterday to run through this beast, where we already had the torque converter lockup kit, the Richard's lockup kit fitted. We tickled it up on the computer. We started step by step. We wanted to see which each component did and the benefits of each component.
Just got better and better.
Correct, yeah, so we love to hear that. We started with the transmission remap. So the first thing we wanted to do is get into that ECU. We wanted to make sure that the ECU was understanding what we were asking of it and making sure it was set up for Australian conditions. We're unique. We run these heavily modified 200s, heavier cars. Nobody tells the gearbox that we're doing that. So it's still sort of shuffling about. And you mentioned doing the dance. It's exactly that. You're playing with it to try and coach it into this economy zone. You don't have to. We can sort that for you. We can really nail it. And we get that from this tailored package. More than just one component. So you've got the lockup kit, which you had, Ruben. We've now got these two other components which implement it.
Reflash does for the automatic, because I still did the dance with the converter lockup kit, but it'd click into 5th and it'd click into 6th and it'd hold it. And I know that the trans temperatures were a fair bit better from that point. But I said,
that's the primary thing.
On the dance.
Yeah.
Trying to get it into that 6th gear and get that economy mode happening.
So to do that, it's that next level on. We need to command that ECU. We need to make sure it's got the right parameters set so it responds to how we're driving the car. One thing with these vehicles is they're designed to be driven a lot quicker than we drive them. So if we're, running that 100 kilometre an hour mark, it's just not willing to want to hop into 6th gear. And the worst case is when it does, it hops straight back out. So we actually drive down into that ECU and we make sure that the data in there is reflective of our road conditions. First thing we do is we make sure it pulls into 5th gear and holds 5th gear without having to shuffle back to 4th. We make sure it pulls into 6th gear, as you said, by about 95 kilometres per hour. And most importantly, without having to lift throttle. Just so we can continue driving the car. We don't have to understand, we don't have to know how to drive this car, it just responds.
We've spoken about that auto box now and how magnificent it drives. So I drove to Brisbane yesterday before we did it, right? And I'm doing the dance all the way down there, driving me mad.
Yeah.
Getting roughly that 13.5 to 14 litres per 100. We go down there, you unplug the chip, take it for a bit of a drive. We understand that it's back to how it should be normal. It's not throwing funny codes anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. You then put the auto flash in it, and then just chalk and cheese. I cannot recommend that enough. It has just changed my life. Yeah. So at the end of the day, we then put in the reflash of the engine management system, and I was a bit sceptical, but absolutely magic.
Yeah, well, you've been there before. You've had a bad experience, and look, it is a thing. Remapping is not new. People have been doing it for a long time now. I guess what is new and something we're bringing to the field is a complementary package that works together. You no longer have this high performance aspect. We're looking for drivability, economy, and all-round longevity of your vehicle. That's what our customers are using it for. That's what your customers are expecting from your product.
Exactly.
So it goes hand in hand. And one of the things we touched on is the ECU remap, the calibration. It is polite. So it's not a rocket. You're not hopping into this supercar. You're just hopping into this really well-sorted 200 series that performs when you want it to, and is really economical when you're towing or when you're just cruising on the highway.
It's just that fantastic. So I reckon we should jump into the workshop, throw the car on the computer, and we'll show people a bit more about it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, see you there.
So we've got Ruben's car here, 200 series Landcruiser, 2019 Sahara in the workshop. I'm going to just take you through the process of what we do to them and then the outcome of what we do. So the first thing is have the torque converter lockup kit fitted. So Ruben's taking care of that. They've put it through the DMW workshop, had all the outfit done. And there's a good couple of hours involved in installing that. It is something that can be done by a lot of our different dealers. We are going to now take it into the next stage, which is identifying the transmission calibration and then working with that to put our new software onto the vehicle. So we simply connect to the computer through OBD, which is convenient. We have a laptop here, so we identify here on the computer, 2019. From this one here, we now push through our new software, so we can change all of those parameters by a touch of a button, which delves into all of the parameters for gear changing, specifically when it should be gear changing and when it shouldn't be. So we can clarify those parameters in the ECU. So we'll push that through there now. That process takes approximately 15 to 20 minutes. And then we're going to go for a drive in it. Once we've driven it, we're going to come back and do the stage 2, which is the engine performance upgrades.
Here we are back in the workshop after Stefan's worked his magic. Stefan, can you tell us what you did?
Yeah, so this vehicle's all done. We took the opportunity to make the most of it. We first of all flashed the transmission with Richard's Auto's own remap tune file. What that's done is allowed the gearbox to now utilise the engine's power and the torque. On top of that, we've also got it pulling into 6th gear like we've experienced on the road, doing everything we want to do without having to do the dance. That's the key to it. Get it to work for you. On top of that, we've completed the motor remap. So we've got the motor tuned up. This particular vehicle's making just over 800 Newton meters of torque and about 144 kilowatts at all 4 wheels. So we know that because we've benchmarked these vehicles. We haven't dyno tuned this particular vehicle. Look, a lot of people out there do dyno tune vehicles and that's a great thing. We work with 2 reasons. We want to maximise efficiency and deliver economy. For that reason, we're not pushing these cars to their limit. So we work with a baseline. We know that baseline works every single time, and that's how we can, it's safe. That's how we can flash this vehicle without having to put it on a set of rollers every single time.
Yep. And we don't have to go through the desert and get the codes, come up and go into limp mode.
You don't have to worry. If you're in the desert, you can drive it. In fact, this particular vehicle here, when you're in the desert and you're in low range, you can select 5th and 6th gear. It means that you can get those RPM right down for your transit, stop having to work that transfer case as hard, stop having to rev quite as far. All about fuel economy.
So what we're excited to announce as well is that we are now going to be dealers for Richard's Auto Electrical. And that means we're going to offer the same products that you can get down there in Murray Bridge and SA directly from Stefan and his company. So you can come here to DMW in Toowoomba and you can actually get your converter lockup kit done, your transmission retune and your engine management retune to get a nice, safe, fantastic package that suits the tourer.
And from Richard's Auto, we're pleased to be on board with Ruben and DMW. We look forward to good things to come.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And what we'll do is we'll do another video in some time soon and we'll show you the performance factors and how it does towing and all that sort of stuff. So stay tuned for that episode. Thank you.
Thank you.